It's great to see you back here. If you are new to this channel, this is Luna Simonson, a Zambian based in Sweden. Yes, so being Zambian and Swedish, today I would like to talk about something which is going on in my country, Zambia, right now, as of 5th of June. Yeah, we've had a lot of presidents, and the sixth president has passed away. So I just want to say how I'm going to remember him. First of all, you should understand that I am just giving this as a compliment. I have no interest in politics. I'm not siding with any party, but I'm just trying to see how I can remember the former president, Mr. Edgar Lungu, and how I just feel about him. I am just doing that as a person, as an individual, without anything, to do with politics. Yeah. I'll start by saying that I think he was a jovial person. I know it's very, very common that when someone passes away, people tend to say a lot of good things about the one who has passed away. It's just like that. But also, I've heard people saying bad things about someone who passes away. So what I'm saying now is, what I'm saying is coming from deep down my heart. So it has no connection to politics or whatever. Yeah. So in this case, I just want to give my experience of what happened in 2021, 2022. So what happened was this. I hadn't been home. I mean, Zambia, my home country. I hadn't been home for a long time, like for more than 10 years. Yeah, I had a lot of things I was fixing. I was fixing school. I was fixing driver's license. I was fixing a lot of things. So years went, and more than 10 years, I hadn't been home. So when my husband and I and my kids decided to visit Zambia in 2021, I was very impressed of the things that I saw. I didn't manage to see everything. Of course, one has to appreciate people, you know, give credit where it's due. So when I arrived in Zambia, imagine not visiting Zambia for more than 10 years. And when I went there, I found a lot of changes, which I thought he had made an effort when he was in government to make a new site of, the country at large, but mostly it was Lusaka, the capital city of Zambia, where I used to live before I relocated to Sweden. So, starting from the airport, yeah, when we arrived, it was so hot. It was in December, but that year Zambia was experiencing a drought, so it was extremely hot. So immediately we landed at the airport. I saw that what I left was not what I found. I was very impressed. The airport was spacious, and imagine coming from a very, very cold country and landing in back home in Zambia, and the difference in temperature was shocking. We left Sweden when it was extremely cold. I think it was minus 22 Also, it was very cold and there was a lot of snow, and the bodies have been used to such kind of cold. Yeah, so when we landed, the temperature was like between 35, between 30 and 36 degrees. So we were joking with my husband that, oh, it's like there's so much difference in temperature from where we're coming from and here in Zambia. So when we arrived, the body just felt extremely hot, and I was sweating. I can sweat a lot. Our friends, my husband, when he sweats, you can't see. But for me, when I sweat, you can see it. Of course, you understand because of my skin tone. So after clearing ourselves by the customs there, immigration, yeah, so I thought, I need to go to the bathroom. I just freshen up myself. I had no idea that my family, a lot of them were outside waiting because I hadn't been home as explained. So it was very exciting, but it was extremely hot. So I said, before I go out of the the airport, I need to go to the bathroom and refresh myself. You know what I mean? Yeah. The toilets, the bathrooms were very clean. They were well maintained. I was so impressed from there. Okay. So I was like, wow, it was very, very impressive. Okay. That's not what I left. What I left was something else. So they had transformed that airport during Lungu's time, and they made it into something better, if I may say it like that. International level, kind of, if I may put it that way. Without any, I've already said I'm not siding with any political. I am not interested in politics, but I'm a Zambian and I'm a Swede. So I'm just explaining what I experienced. It was impressive right from the airport. Spacious, clean, fresh air, and everything you can think of. Yeah? It makes one feel proud, even for the first time, as those who are coming to Zambia for the first time, I'm sure they can agree that it's very well, uh, well maintained and well transformed. Okay, so yeah, that was impressive. Everything at the airport was impressive in their own standards. In an African standard, that was very, very impressive. So that was done during President Lungu's time, the one who passed away on the 5th of June. All right. And now we were heading to my elder sister's place. We passed through town. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Like I left, there were only, at that time, if I can remember very well, there were only 3 shopping malls which were close to me. I used to live in the Woodlands area there. So there was Woodlands Shopping Mall, there was Manda Hill, there was Arcades. Of course, there were other shopping malls somewhere like McKinney, but that's not where I lived. So in my area where I used to live, my favorite shopping mall was Woodlands. If I wanted to buy some stuff quickly, I quickly drove to Woodlands shopping mall. It was very near where I lived. Okay, and then if I wanted to have some leisure with friends, it was either Arcades or Manda Hill. So now, oh my goodness, during his term, he had built a lot of shopping malls. And After we went to my sister, we were there for a few days. And sometimes you just want your space. We were living in hotels. If we were not, we were mostly at Radisson Blue or Easy Stay. Those two were near. Oh, there was even Levy More also, but that one was not kind of my favorite. Yeah, before I left Zambia. So when we lived at the hotel for some weeks, we used to like, what is it called? East Park more. That's where we used to hang around mostly. If people wanted to meet me, that was a meeting point, So the shopping malls were of high standards. I know Manda, he was there, Crossroads somewhere, Leopard's Hill, but that one was quite a small one. As I said already, my favorite was Woodlands Shopping Mall, near Woodlands, what is it called? Near the tank, the water storage there. You know which one I'm talking about. Near State House, somewhere there. That was my favorite. Then we found that, there were a lot of shopping malls. It was just a matter of choosing where to go to. Yeah, sometimes we wanted to taste different foods. Like there were some Asian restaurants, and we just had to choose where to go. There, during his time, he had built a lot of good shopping malls, which made our stay very easy. One would almost forget that they were in Africa, if I may say it that way. Yeah, and it was impressive. So as we drove around, for example, I noticed that the Great East Road, for example, was kind of transformed with a lot of flyover bridges to make the traffic flow, easier. Right there at Arcades, just near Radisson Blue there. Yeah, it was quite attractive. It was looking appealing, like, okay, something has been going on here, some development, some sort. Yeah, so that was another thing that was impressive. And I remember when we were traveling to Livingstone with my husband and my family, I was I lived in Lusaka for many, many years, and I know the corners. So I was acting as a GPS. So my husband, when we drove, we were heading, okay, after the Kafue roundabout. Yeah. Then my husband, we found that there was a flyover bridge somewhere. And then it looked so strange to me. I said, oh man, which way should we take? So my husband, you better hurry. You have to remember. I said, no, but this I didn't leave. I didn't leave this space. I didn't leave these things, So you know what? Let's go up. Let's drive up. Wherever this road takes us, that will be it. If we get lost, we can always go back. So they transformed the road so that the traffic flow, so that people would not have so much traffic jams, kind of. That's what I mean. So, yeah. So, and then as we drove further, Livingstone Road. Yeah, the road was very good, I must say. I'll just cut the story short. When we were coming back from Livingstone, we were driving in that road towards Lusaka in the evening, it was it was getting dark. And the markings and everything was looking so perfect. The landscape plus the good roads. It was so amazing. It was so enjoyable to drive there. One almost forgot that they were in Zambia. All right. Apart from the bad experience that I had when we drove to my village. I call it like that, Nakonde. My trip wouldn't have been complete, being in Zambia and not going to Nakonde. When we drove there, it was another story, all right? So someone cannot, I know, someone cannot do everything perfectly well, but at least we were impressed somewhere. But as we drove to Nakonde, it was another story. It was extremely, extremely bad. Probably they were thinking of doing something there too, but what I saw, I'm just appreciating the goods and not the bad side of the things. So yeah, and then we went to Ndola. There were shopping malls. We went to Kitwe, shopping malls. Oh my goodness, so many shopping malls everywhere. I remember when I left Zambia, there was only one game stores in Lusaka at Manda Hill. It was one of my favorite electronics, and just the store has everything under one roof. So I used to buy mostly my electronics, laptops, phones. If I wanted to travel, I just went there to buy some suitcases and all that. But that time when we went to Zambia, it was in Kitwe too. Yeah, there was game stores in Kitwe too, and many, many more uh, shopping malls. Our favorite was, I still remember, Mukuba Mall. It was small, but the atmosphere was very, very good. The roads, of course, needed much attention also in Dola there, but as I said, you can't do everything at once. You have to start somewhere. Yeah, so what can I say? So I was impressed by the developments that were done for the time I was away, up to the time when I went back home after around 10 years. After 10 years. Yeah, I left other governments. When I left Zambia, it wasn't PF who was there, no. So I was so impressed, and yeah, I was telling my family that, wow, there are a lot of developments, Not everything is perfect, but at least one feels at home. So to give credit where it's due, there's nothing wrong with that. So I just thought this is how I'm going to remember Mr. Edgar Lungu, our former president of Zambia. Yeah, the one who passed away. Yeah. And apart from that, I think the man was very jovial, always laughing, always with a big smile. He was very jovial. Some people are reserved. He was reserved, and he was jovial at the same time. Yeah, I never met him, but I could see sometimes he was running with ordinary people. He was approachable, I think. Yeah, so not because it's gone that people are talking good things. I'm just giving my views straight from my heart without any connection to anything. So Zambia, where it is now, yeah, we hope that the people who are there now are going to carry on and work on other things that are remaining that can make our country, Zambia, even better. My main concern is something to do with garbage. Garbage is my main worry. I think we need a system in Zambia which will properly handle garbage collection and disposal. Yes, if that is worked on, and the people's mentality also should change, I'm not here to condemn anyone, but I think garbage collection needs serious attention. You know, someone who will look into that on a serious note, and some, I don't know how, but I think people in general, the citizens, have to also follow along and change their mindset of not just dumping garbage, anyhow. Yeah, we have bins all over town, but it's saddening to see some people just throwing garbage the way they want, which is very wrong. If this is done, if some government will work on this, then Zambia will be a very, very, very good place, because garbage can cause diseases like cholera, you know. So to prevent cholera from spreading, we have to work on this. This is my appeal as a Zambian. Yeah, at your own pace, as long as this is done, this will make, Zambia look even more beautiful and attractive to us Zambians and to tourists and other foreigners who are visiting Zambia. Yeah, so that's my appeal. And yeah, many more other things that obviously are on the agenda for the people who are sitting in office right now. So I just thought, since the funeral is going on in Zambia, oh, let me just say something that I think I need to say. So please, as I've already said, I'm still repeating myself, this has nothing to do with politics. I'm just appreciating the person who was ruling the country, Zambia, which is our country, all of us, what he did, that you might not, if you live in Zambia, you might not appreciate those things, but maybe for people who are not living there, they appreciate such things that can make someone feel at home. Yeah, to give a new face of the whole town, people's convenience. For example, you want to, you don't need to congest one shopping mall. You can go to any other shopping mall and still enjoy your shopping and your activities, your outdoor activities. So this is all I had to say. It's really sad that he has passed away at his age, having lived here in Sweden. That age that, like for example, the year he was born, here people, that's the age people are still active and working. And I mean, what am I trying to say? I have met a lot of above 100 people here. Here, after living here for so many years, I started to consider someone old if they're above 90, because meeting people who are 70, 80, it's normal, and they're so healthy and active. So, for example, he was active. He was running, he was exercising, and So I think, who are we to talk about when this happened to him, death? But I wish he could live longer, but it's what it is. Death is death. No one can choose. He doesn't choose, but I'm just saying he passed away quite early. Looking at his age, if I had a wish, I wish he could have lived for more years, Yeah. So, with those few words, I leave you here and Take care of yourselves and be careful and be kind to one another. That's what I can say.